If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, then you know I'm a big fan of the DJI Ronin 4D. I love this camera. I'm currently using it on a feature documentary, and I've also used it on a lot of commercial projects and also short documentaries where you want that more commercial, elegant feel. Now, one of the great aspects about the Ronin 4D is it's all in one package, and the fact that it has a gimbal on the front of the lens and a fourth axis that takes out all the bounce out of your steps as you walk, which is one of the problems with using a normal gimbal. Now, because of this mechanism, the Ronin 4D has a weight limit on the type of lenses you can use, which a lot of people find frustrating. You can't use bigger 24-70 zooms, and there's often big cinema primes that you can't use on it. I think the Ronin 4D has become more popular recently because camera manufacturers have made small primes like the Cooke SP3s, which I own and love, that you can actually use on the Ronin 4D with no issues at all. But if you want a pure set for the Ronin 4D, you might be looking at DJI's lenses, which they originally made for the Inspire 3. And they're beautiful and small lenses, but they are pretty expensive. They're about $1,200 per lens. So today I want to talk about a 6 lens set from one of my favorite lens manufacturers, Viltrox. They have made a set that is perfectly compatible with the Ronin 4D, and so we're going to check these out and see, are these lenses the perfect fit for Ronin 4D users? Let's do it. If you're new here, my name is Curran Sheldon, and I'm an Oscar-nominated filmmaker and ASC award-winning cinematographer. We're outside today because fall is almost here in West Virginia, so it's nice and cool, and we thought it'd be a really good place to test these lenses, get out in the forest so we can really see how they perform in real-world scenarios. Recently, I posted a short film about my friend Rosalie Hazlett, who is a nature illustrator here in Appalachia. She does beautiful work, so check out that film. It was shot completely on the Ronin 4D and the Viltrox lenses. So if you want a really good real-world example of what these lenses look like, take a look at that video. All right, so getting into the Viltrox set, they have 6 lenses in this set. There's the 16, a 24, 28, a 35, a 50, which is on the camera now, and an 85. So you're going from a very wide angle 16 millimeter all the way up to an 85. And so that's a really nice complete set. So the concept behind these lenses is the fact that they integrate with the Ronin 4D in the way the native DL mount lenses do. So the first thing you'll notice when you're looking at these lenses is that they are not like very many other lenses because there is no focus ring. There's no aperture ring. There's just nothing on these lenses except for a housing that's a nice solid metal or metally plastic. And they're got some good heft to them, but they're still really lightweight, all except for the 16-85 under 400 grams. That makes these lenses very durable and also very weatherproof because there's just no way for any moisture to get into these lenses because there's no actual moving components on the outside of the lens. And so you might be thinking, well, if you don't have a focus ring or any manual controls, how does this thing work? How do you actually focus it? Well, if you use the Ronin 4D, then you know that you can calibrate your lenses in the menu through the electronic contacts and then pull focus on the actual focus gear on one of the handles. So one of the time-consuming parts with putting new lenses on the Ronin 4D is that you have to calibrate them manually. Now, with the DJI lenses, you don't have this problem. They're native lenses, you just push auto calibration and boom, it reads the lens and you're good to go. And what's great about the Viltrox is they function in the exact same way. They're functioning as a native Ronin 4D lens. So when you go to calibrate these lenses, all you gotta do is go into the menu. It already reads which lens it is. So it's like, you have the Viltrox 24 on there, great, auto calibration. And then it knows exactly where all of its focus points are and you can get right to shooting. Another great thing about these lenses, they're all really lightweight, which is really important for the 4D because it's about a 1 kilogram limit on that fourth axis. If you are using primes on the Ronin 4D, and I think most people are just because of the weight requirements, then it's nice to have a lens set that is pretty uniform in size and weight. And the Viltrox are pretty good with that. The 24, the 28, the 35, and the 50 are pretty much the exact same size and weight. So when you change those lenses out, you don't need to rebalance at all. They're pretty much good to go. The 60 and the 85 are also very similar, but they're bigger than the other lenses. And so if you do put those on there, you might have to shift a little bit to get the balance right. But in general, they are a really nice uniform set. So as we just saw, when you calibrate the lenses, they're automatically calibrated and you can get to focusing right away on your focus wheel right here. Or if you want to use autofocus, then I have it programmed to this button right here for smart autofocus. So for me, you just click that button and it goes into autofocus. Along with being lightweight, perhaps the most impressive part of these lenses is they're all f1.8, all the way from the 16 millimeter, which for a full frame lens, a 1.8 16 is already impressive. To do it in this size and weight is pretty incredible. Going a little more into the build quality, I mean, these things are robust. Again, they have an all metal housing, no focus ring, no aperture ring, and so They're pretty much just one big block of glass and metal. And for a camera like the Ronin 4D, which a lot of people use in action situations, whether it's putting on a car mount, a bike mount, or running through the woods, it's nice to have robust lenses that you know will withstand sort of anything you throw at it. Now, all that is well and good, but how is the image? Well, if you've seen my short film, then you can judge for yourself whether you like the image of these Viltrox lenses. But in my opinion, I think they're beautiful lenses. They're really sharp, especially in the center, and I shot most of that film between f1.8 and f2.8, often around that f2 range, and these lenses remain very sharp with a really nice fall off and a really nice background blur. You know, sometimes when you get cheaper lenses like this, you can get some pretty busy backgrounds that are a little distracting. But the Viltrox, I felt like, had a very smooth bokeh and also remained sharp even when wide open. So if you haven't seen the film yet, here's some sample footage with the Viltrox rays. So when you're thinking of a full lineup of lenses and cinema lenses for the Ronin 4D, all f1.8 apertures, all with robust builds, and a complete 6 lens set from 16 all the way to 85, you're probably thinking that it's gonna be pretty expensive. Well, here's the best news. This entire 6 lens set is only $3,700. That comes out to about $600 per lens. And Viltrox actually only sells the set as a set. So if you want one lens, you're gonna have to buy all 6. But at $3,600 for a wide range of primes at f1.8, I think it's well worth it. Now, I don't own any of the DJI lenses because I primarily use the Cooke SP3s or the Typox Samarases on my Ronin 4D, but my buddy, who has an Inspire 3, let me borrow the 24mm and the 50mm, so here are some comparisons against the Viltrox 24 and the Viltrox 50. So this is the Viltrox 50mm wide open at f1.8. Minimum focus distance. So this is the DJI 50mm wide open at f2.8. Woo, wide. All right, this is the Viltrox 24mm f1.8 wide open at f1.8. This is the DJI 24mm wide open at f2.8. All right, so there you go, a comparison between the DJI lenses, the 24 and 50, and the Viltrox 24 and 50. While the Viltrox autofocus was pretty good, the 50 seemed to be missing just a little bit, either a little too close or a little too far, where the DJI lenses were spot on pretty much the entire time. With that said, the f1.8 aperture on the Viltroxes gave us a lot shallower depth of field compared to the DJI, which was nice to see. But let me know which look you prefer from the Viltrox and the DJI set in the comments below. But for the price, you can also get 6 Viltroxes for the price of 3 DJI lenses. So you do have a much wider set that's also a much faster aperture with the Viltroxes. So if you want native Ronin 4D lenses, then I think the Viltrox rays are a really, really nice option. You get 6 lenses from 16 all the way to 85, all 1.8, robustly built, and have great integration with the Ronin 4D. So check out the Viltrox rays, and thanks again to Viltrox for sending these out for me to test and for sponsoring the short film on the nature illustrator Rosalie Hazlett. If you haven't seen that film, go and check it out, but here's some more footage to whet your appetite about the Viltrox rays. All right, we'll see you in the next video.
Every time I go outside, even if it's just a little walk through local woods, I'm looking for something interesting that could potentially be incorporated into an art piece. I really like this way of existing because I will never run out of things to be inspired by.